Good morning, Knicks fans. It's your boy. And you are now tuned into another episode of OU and Knicks Podcast, your number one source for NBA news. Well, folks, we have a dilemma today. We've seen the beast come from deep inside the cave. We've learned the true meaning of I'ma send you an Instagram message and disrespect you. We've seen the rich and the famous take the high road and take the low road as well. You may ask yourself what I'm talking about to you today, and trust and believe I'll tell you. We have a situation that's like no other, I mean. But we do have a situation. Yesterday we learned of an argument between Kevin Durant and Michael Rapaport. A message that some say should have been left in-house. A message that some say isn't as bad as it looks. But in all actuality, it's bad as it looks. We seen a post from Michael Rapaport yesterday. Let me just get right to it. We ain't even gonna play with y'all. We seen a report yesterday from Michael Rapaport where he posted up lewd messages that Kevin Durant sent to Michael Rapaport. In response to Michael Rapaport making a statement about an interview that Kevin Durant made, which Michael Rapaport has all the right in the world to make. But it seems that Kevin Durant, being the crybaby that he is, didn't like what Michael Rapaport had to say. So Kevin Durant, the high road guy, didn't take the high road this time. He said, no, I'm gonna sit right here until a tow truck comes to pick up this vehicle from this high road. And we're gonna get low, real low. Kevin Durant refused to give Michael Rapaport the respect that any human being gets. Whether or not another person is disagreeing with what you are saying at this point in time. What Kevin Durant went to do was to throw lewd comments at Michael Rapaport. Disrespect Michael Rapaport's wife. Disrespect Michael Rapaport's sexuality. Disrespect Michael Rapaport in his name. This is what we saw from Kevin Durant. We saw an egotistical, prima donna, selfish person who doesn't like what people say about him, disrespect somebody in a way that that man should not have been disrespected. Am I taking all the blame off of Michael Rapaport? No, I am not. I do not like Michael Rapaport. Let's get that straight out the way. I think he's a corny dude. But regardless of the fact, when respect is due, respect should be given. And this is something that we didn't see from Kevin Durant. This is something that we thought we had from Kevin Durant. But it's apparent that we were on the wrong side of the bed when we woke up this morning. Because what Kevin Durant did was total opposite of what we would think that Kevin Durant would do. Let me tell you this, guys. And I'm a prime example of it because I have a dirty mouth. If you know me on Twitter, you know that I have a dirty mouth. I will violate you. But if you come to me with a valid argument or a valid comment, I will not disrespect you until I feel that you are disrespecting me. That's the difference between the real and the fake. That's the difference between men and boys. We know when to get out of line and when to stay in line. And at that point in time in Kevin Durant's life, he should have stayed in line and not disrespected that man's wife, not disrespected that man's family, not disrespected that man's sexuality. Because what? It is wrong. And the problem that I really have with the whole situation, because I didn't comment on it yesterday. To be honest with you guys, I didn't even know that it was real news. I thought maybe it was fake, but it appears to be real news. So we seen today, later on today, Stephen A. comments on the situation. And throughout his conversation, he continues to blame Michael Rapaport for bringing the things that Kevin Durant said to him to the light. That would have been, this is my problem with Stephen A. and a whole lot of people who, in the other black guy who was on the panel with him. And I'm pretty sure that you all know from the sound of my voice that I'm a black man. I take pride in being black. I take pride in my black family. But one thing I am not a racist, and I am not a person who excuses people because they're black from ridicule and judgment for the things that they do against white people that are wrong. There is no gray area in the black and white spectrum. What's wrong is wrong, what's right is right, and what Kevin Durant did was wrong. By him disrespecting that man's sexuality, by him disrespecting that man's wife when that man said nothing about Kevin Durant's family, Kevin Durant's sexuality, it was wrong. Kevin Durant was wrong for the things that he said to Michael Rapaport. And just because Kevin Durant is a black man, that means he gets no leeway with me. But it's apparent that he gives leeway with Stephen A. And this is a problem that I have with Stephen A. And after I tell this little problem with Stephen A, I'm going to announce it. I'm going to get back to this Kevin Durant fiasco. Why every time that it's a situation with Stephen A always seems to want to bring up race? Now, I can understand some of the things that Stephen A says about, with black coaches and things of that nature. But I've seen situations where even because it wasn't about race, Stephen A still made it about race. Even though he'd say, I'm not trying to say this is about race, I'm just saying, if this was a black man, if this was a white dude, or such and such, he will get this type of treatment and that type of treatment and so forth. Well, Mr. Stephen A, what do you have to say now? Well, to be honest with you, we know what you have to say, because it was apparent that you was mad that Michael Rapaport brought this to the light. Now, let it would have been a white man saying these things to a black man, and the black man brought all of this stuff out to the light. Stephen A would have had a field day with it. Stephen A would have went out of his way to bring racism in it. Stephen A would have went out of his way to tear Michael Rapaport a new butthole. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's wrong is wrong, and what's right is right, Mr. Stephen A. When David Sterling, the owner for the Clippers, made all of those racial comments and it was brought to the light, you didn't have a problem with it then because it was a white man. And let me get this right to you guys. In no way am I defending racism. If you're racist, you're terrible. You're a terrible person. You should be locked away. But what I want people to understand is what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Just because a white man says those things and get put out public doesn't mean that a black man who does similar things cannot be brought to the public. Just because Kevin Durant is a black man doesn't mean that he is above anybody or isn't in a position to be able to take on a type of criticism that white people take on. We are all human beings under the sun. No one is different. So by you saying, Stephen A., that Michael Rapaport was wrong for bringing these things to the light, when in all actuality, he was right for letting people know the true person that Kevin Durant is, you are wrong, Mr. Stephen A. You are wrong, Mr. Stephen A. Why? Because what Kevin Durant did is no different than what a lot of racist white people do, who go inside of your comments and say all type of lewd things to you. And black people happen to just put it out to the forefront and let a lot of white people cut their heads off for saying stupid things that they shouldn't have said. So Kevin Durant should be treated with the same metal or spoon, I'ma say. There's no reason you should be blaming Michael Rapaport for bringing these things out to the light when this man disrespected his family, when this man disrespected that man's wife and his sexuality. Those things are wrong, no matter what mouth they are coming from. They are wrong, Mr. Stephen A. So yes, Michael Rapaport had every right to bring this to the light. Michael Rapaport had every right to put Kevin Durant on Front Street and exposed him for the person that he really is. And you, Mr. Stephen A., are wrong for even thinking for 1 second that Michael Rapaport didn't have that right to do it. Because guess what, Mr. Stephen A.? Michael Rapaport did have every right to do that. Why? Because he was being disrespected by a person that's supposed to be one of the greatest persons in NBA history, who's supposed to be a role model for the children that are coming up today. And if the model person for the children today is weak inside of their mind to where the point where they can't take criticism and they have to utter out lewd comments to other people, then they should not be a leader. This is one of the same things that I said about Kyrie Irving. He is not fixed to be a leader. You have one moment where he's a shaman. You have the next moment where he's a witch doctor. You have the next moment where this kid is a Muslim. You have the next moment where he's a Christian. You have the next moment where he's a black activist. What are you doing? Where are you leading our children? That's the thoughts that come to my mind when it comes to, people in a higher stature, rich people who have a lot of pull and a lot of influence on the masses. Who are you as a person? I don't care about your basketball skills when it comes to my child looking at you as a role model. My children look at me as a role model because of the things that I do, the person that I am, the man that I have become to be. They look at me and say, okay, well, dad is not going to do it. Why would I do it? In my house, we preach respect for other people. This is what I do. So by you, Stephen A., coming on national television and saying that Michael Rapaport was wrong for releasing information of a person who we consider to be a model citizen that was ridiculing him and displaying rude comments and lewd language to him, for you to say that Michael Rapaport was wrong for bringing that to the masses to let us know that we are following the wrong man, Stephen A., you are the problem. You are the problem. You are the reason why the world is bandwagon how they is today. How we can accept one thing but disregard the next. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, Mr. Stephen A. And what Kevin Durant did was bad. He should be exposed for it. The same way that you can sit up there and ridicule Kevin Durant for choosing a white coach over plenty of black coaches the same way that Michael Rapaport can get on Kevin Durant about disrespecting him and his family. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you guys think about this. Let me know if Michael Rapaport was right for bringing the lewd comments that Kevin Durant sent to him to light. Was he right? Should he kept it in the closet? Should we all keep all of our damaged goods in the closet? Should we just never mind people who are being racist or rude to us in the closet? Should we accept people disrespecting us without bringing it to the light? You guys let me know. Thank you for watching. If you new, make sure that you hit that like button and make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter also, because that's where it goes down. Okay? Until next time, stay blessed, everybody.